Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Aquaponics World. Today I am going to be trying to change out some of the filters on this. I got a couple of packages in the mail finally. This guy over here, I did, like I said, I put a tablet in here and I just started shaking it up. I tried to blend it up. This was a full solid tablet when I just mixed it up a little bit, but it started to break down a little bit. Not sure how I want to do that tablet. I need it for micronutrients, and as you can see, this leaf is doing good, and it's actually got a whole nother baby leaf coming out the bottom here as well. But this guy over here is starting to get some yellow tips, which is a sign of nutrient deficiency. So I'm a little bit frustrated with this tablet. I probably should have tried to break it up a little bit during the week. I just now today, when I was gonna put this water back into the fish tank, thought, oh, you know what, I'll try to rub this around and rinse it off and see if it'll break up a little bit. But like I said, I have nutrient deficiency here, and I probably could have used some of that fertilizer in that. But anyways, this water is definitely not going back into my fish tank. It's way too yellow. And now the question is am I going to use some of this dirty fish water here to replace this water? And I think I am. I just kind of want to have some fresh water in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and dump everything out. Today is going to be a unboxing. Almost a year ago, I ordered this from Marine and Reef. I emailed them asking them why they had not sent it yet. They emailed me back that there must have been an issue with it getting sent back to them for some reason, and that they would, once they received it, they would resend it. In the meantime, I ordered from Petco, and I was able to find the products for the flue ball pump on the Petco website. So if you need stuff for the flue ball pump, it is in the Petco thing. So here's the sponges that I've been waiting on, and oh good, it's a 3-pack. I do need more than 3 though. I need 4 of them. Let's see, what else did I get? I got some more Biomax, so I'll just put that over here for the next time I replace those next year. Yep, I got another propeller, so we'll just put that over there for next year. So glad they sent it a year late. Let's see, I have no idea what this is. Super Lube. That's not anything that I ordered, but anyway. And we got some more of these charcoal filters. I got a whole stack of those, but those always come in handy. Got some more of these. Already got a couple of those. And an O-ring. Hilarious. 1 O-ring. That is definitely not the O-rings that I needed, but I already got those. Alright, and now to see what is in the Petco box. Like I said, I tried to order these sponges from, well, I tried to find them at PetSmart. They didn't have those. I tried to order them from PetSmart online. They didn't have them. I tried going to Marine and Reef, and I didn't get those for like 6 months. I tried going to Flue Ball. They don't sell them. Finally, I had to call Flue Ball to ask them where to go. They suggested ordering it from Petco. So we're finally getting this box from Petco. And let's see what comes in it. Boy, they really boxed the hell out of this. Okay, so Petco's box has a whole bunch of packaging. And yep, looks like we got another 3-pack, so perfect. So I got 4 of them. I can go ahead and replace the sponges in here. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to drain the water out of the pump, take off the top, take the old sponges out, I'm gonna have to rinse these sponges out in some of this water, this clean water, and put them back in there, close it all back up. So that's what I will go ahead and do right now. So the first thing I'll do is I'll just use some of this water that's been sitting out for a week to get rid of the chlorine. You know, you don't want to wash anything that goes into your fish tank with water straight from the tap, because it's got chlorine in it. Boy, they no joke freaking got these things locked down. And hopefully these are the right size. I have the Flueball FX4, and when I asked them about it, they said, oh yeah, it won't say FX4, it'll say FX5, because we didn't have the FX4. Apparently now they have an FX3 and an FX2, but if you're looking for these for the FX4, you got to look it up under the FX5. So I'll just take them out just so that I don't have any dust or anything like that in there. Just kind of rinse them out in the clean water here. Oh man, they look so much better than the ones that I have in there. The ones that I have in there are all red because I tried using some of this fertilizer with my in my fish tank for a while there, and that didn't work very well because the whole fish tank turned red. Did not like that. That's when I came up with a separate tank for the fish, separate tank for the plants thing. But yeah, anytime that you want to replace anything, it's always good just to rinse it off. And you don't want to use any chlorine water. So it's best to just let the water sit out for a week. So I'll just rinse these off, and now that that's all done, I'll just save these other 2 here for later, and I guess I'll just dump this out the window, and I can use this tote. Well, I guess I don't need to dump that out the window just yet, but what I can do is to drain these out, you have to first you have to turn them off. So you turn the in and the out off, and then you can unplug them. If you can figure out which plug it is. So you just unplug the pump, and you detach one of the hoses. And before you do that, it's probably a good idea to run the hose out the window or into a bucket or something like that. And let's see. Yeah, you can open this up and detach this. And this may or may not just start spraying water out. I don't know. Last time it kind of did. But there's like a button right here that you got to push in when you lift up on this. And then yeah, because this isn't elevated above the window, it won't drain. So I'm just going to lift this up manually and let it drain out. See, so once you have the Flueball pump elevated and you've detached one of the hoses, it lets air come in, and you open up the valve and it will spray the water out. And that's how you drain the water out of the Flueball pump. And once you drain the water out, then you just want to make sure that you turn this off before you open the lid up. But once you've drained the water out and you turned it off, you unplugged one of the hoses, then you can start unscrewing these, and they just pop over to the side. And once you unscrew all the screws, the top will come off, and you can get to your filters. And of course, at which point, since I'm in here, I'll probably go ahead and rinse off some of the filters. But I'm definitely going to be replacing those sponge filters, which has been a year since I replaced my sponge filters, so it's good to do that. And again, if you're looking for those parts, Fluval doesn't sell the parts, Petco does. Alright, so once you've unscrewed all the screws, then you can just lift this up off of here and get to your filters. And so we're going to be getting rid of this guy here. And we will be getting rid of this guy here. And this whole thing comes out. You gotta pull these back kinda. This whole thing comes out. Have two more of these sponges, and these are going to come out as well, and this will also come out. And then once all that stuff's out, then you can dump out the rest of this water and you can clean all these parts. And again, whenever you're cleaning any parts inside your filter, it's always best to use some dirty fish water. If you do have some water that's been sitting out for a week, you can use that as well. But you just don't want to be contaminating your filters with chlorinated tap water. So since I have like 55 gallons of water that's been sitting out for a week dechlorinating, I can go ahead and use that to clean out this tank a little bit. And I'll just rinse that off and dump that out. And I can also use some of this water to clean these filters. So yeah, so you can just rinse this all out, and they give you a brush to stick down in this hole. I'm not sure what I did with mine. I'm gonna have to look for it. But you can also open this up, have the hose sticking out the window or into a bucket, and then when you fill up the water, it'll pump some of that junk out of this hose. Just make sure you close that off again. And yeah, you can use some of this water that's been dechlorinated to rinse off all your parts. Definitely a good idea to rinse these off once a month, but since I'm in here doing it anyways, might as well rinse it off right now, since I'm putting these new sponges in here. But yeah, this is the monthly cleaning right here, and probably would have been best to take this out first. So this is one reason why I keep this this dechlorinated water sitting out for a week, is so that I can use it to do things like this, like cleaning the pump, cleaning the filter and stuff like that. But you do not need to use clean water to wash your filters and wash out all this stuff. You can just use some dirty fish water from your fish tank. So the main thing is you just don't want to use straight tap water and get chlorine right into your filters, because the fish do not like the chlorine. since I have all this extra water, I'll be rinsing all this stuff out with some good clean water. So this carbon pad was in here like this, and this was in here like this. So you just take that out, rinse out your carbon pad, rinse this off the best you can, and then with this one, it's got this sponge pad in here, and you can just rinse that out the best you can. Take your trays out. Be careful with these red trays, because I don't know where you can find these replacement parts. They don't sell anything on Flugel. So what I've been able to find was through Petco. PetSmart didn't carry anything in the store or online. So then you can just kind of set this in here and rinse it all off. Once you get everything all cleaned off the best you can, you just start putting stuff back together the way that it was. I will be putting in my new sponges. They have a little lip right here that goes where the intake and the outtake hoses go. So they're kind of pre-fitting, prefabbed for it to fit in here. And these do a lot of cleaning. They do a brunt of the job here, so getting new ones of those is definitely going to change the cleanliness of my tank. I mean, as you can see, I haven't cleaned them in a week, and it's doing just fine, but this will help a lot. So this is what to expect when you're expecting to get fish. Having kids is easier, but yeah, they got little handles on the sides so that you can grab it by the handles and set it back in there. You do have to put some water back into the pump before you start it back up so that you can prime the tank. You don't want to have any air in your tank, so when you close the lid, you want it full of water. These back in there, and then you can reattach the hoses and turn them on and then plug it back in. So that's what I'll go ahead and do right now. You can just use a empty gallon jug of water or whatever you got. Just make sure you're not just using tap water. Let your tap water sit out for a week so that you can get rid of the chlorine in the tap water. And for the FX4, you just got to add about 2.5 gallons of water back in here. Basically just enough to fill it back up before you close it back up and get it started again. So, and you definitely want to make sure that this outlet hose is shut off so the water isn't just pouring out that outlet hose. I've done that before. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and fill this up, put the lid back on. It does take quite a bit of water to do anything with the pump. When you're cleaning your filters, you're doing your monthly cleaning. So, you know, that's why I have two 25-gallon fish tanks for reserve water. I've already probably used about 15 gallons of water, just, you know, something to have enough water to dip the baskets in and rinse the baskets off, and then have enough water to add back into it to prime it and stuff like that. So it's good to have, you know, 50 gallons worth of reserve water. So that's full now. So now I can just put this this back in here like this, and that's about that. Once you get your lid back on, you just gotta screw these clamps back on there, and those are all just hand tightened. You don't need a tool or anything like that. Sometimes they'll pop off. You just gotta figure out how the bottom goes in there and it slides back in, but nothing much to it. To get those all popped back on, And then you want to center it up in the middle of your fish tank so that you can attach this hose to it. And these hoses, they just pop right on. You just push it down, and if you pull on it, it should be locked into place. So that's about the extent of that. So once you get all the screws screwed on, you get the hoses back together. You know, you got it all filled up with water so that it's primed. Then all you have to do is just plug it back in and open up the valves, the in and out valves. So open the in, open the out, and it will start sucking water in from here into the filter through the filter, and the beneficial bacteria will turn the ammonia into nitrate for the plants. And then you open this up and it comes out here and back into the fish tank. So that was kind of gross. When I turned it back on, it just shot a bunch of junk into the tank. I just used a little bit of water from the tank and my fish net, and kind of rinsed my fish net out in some water and tried to scoop up as much of this stuff as I could. But yeah, super gross. Anyways, got the filter all cleaned. So now I'm going to be taking out 1/4 of the water out of this, just the weekly maintenance. So I'm going to use the flue ball pump to dump 10 gallons of water out of this. This water is still yellow, so I'm not going to be replacing this. I'm not going to be putting this water back in here. I will do a water change out on the plants, but this water is going to have to get dumped out for right now. And that is just a one-time cleaning. So that's the first time in a year that I've thrown those sponges away. Those sponges have been building up beneficial bacteria for a year. So it's time for them to get thrown out. So I did throw those away. And right now I'm just gonna close off this out valve, open up this valve here, and dump out 10 gallons of water into empty totes. And I'm gonna get rid of those. I'm gonna reuse some of this water for fertilizer for my plants. And we'll see, maybe I don't throw away the old plant water. Maybe I'll just keep it for a little while and see if it'll turn clear again. So this 5-gallon tote of dirty water from the fish tank, I am not going to be throwing it away. I'm going to be using it to feed the plants. So I'm just going to take the plants out of this water. And I'm going to be moving this tank out of the way, putting this tank where this one sits, and then putting the plants back in there. I am going to add one of the tablets. If I can find them. So I am going to add one of these tablets. Again, just for micronutrients, and this time I'll probably try to mix it around in there after a little while. Then I'm just gonna put these plants back in here. Like that. Make sure that the stem isn't in the water. Make sure the plant isn't in the water. And if it is, just raise it up a little bit. Raise the string up that's holding it up. Just raise that up just a little bit. All right, so I've removed 5 gallons of water out of here, and I've replaced this water here so that it's getting some fresh nutrients. Hopefully I can continue to grow this squash with nothing but this. The whole point of using the tablet was so that I didn't make red water. I mean, that hydroponic fertilizer was working just fine. It was working really well. I've grown some really big tomatoes with it, especially with the bubblers. But I'm trying to do the cracky system, no bubblers, and now I'm trying to do the aquaponics system with no fertilizer, except for that little tablet, so that I could put this water back into here and reuse it. But it's just way too yellow, so I'm just gonna let it sit, see if it doesn't clear up a little bit. So now the next thing that I need to do is clean off the glass, and now that I have it down about 5 gallons, I can reach my hand in there and scrub off the glass. I also need to clean the intake strainer again. I find that this intake strainer gets pretty nasty about once a week, and since I'm doing the water changes once a week and cleaning the glass off once a week, it's just best to go ahead and clean that strainer off. And again, the way you clean the strainer off is you want to make sure that you turn the inlet off, and you also want to turn the outlet off because you don't want it pumping water out when it's not sucking any water in. But once you got that shut off, then you can go ahead and raise this pipe up a little bit and detach the intake strainer and rinse it off in some of the water. And as soon as I get that rinsed off in that water, I want to get that right back on there and get that started back up just as quickly as possible. So you just attach it back onto the pipe and then slide the pipe down, making sure that the pipe goes all the way down inside of it, and then you can just stick on those suction cups onto the back and get that going. And again, the other thing that I'm going to be doing is using my hand to just scrub off the glass. This is a once a week thing while I'm doing the water change outs. Just scrub off all the glass. Bottom too. Now that I've gotten all the glass scrubbed off, since I've only removed 5-6 gallons of water, I'm going to go ahead and fill up another tote with water. I cleaned off the intake strainer in this bucket right here, so go ahead and fill this up the rest of the way. So just detach this this hose here, and you can put that right into the tote, and just close the out valve. And there's a valve down here that you can open up for the hose, and that will pump out some more of this dirty water out of there. I'll just go ahead and fill that up, and I'm going to try to take about 10 gallons total out, and then I'll be replacing that with some good clean water. So that water that I just got out of there, I did just go ahead and dump it out the window. Not really liking the success of having this water after a week still look yellow. I definitely don't want to be adding that back into my fish tank. I wish I had gotten another filter, another pump for the plant tank. I just wasn't able to afford it right now. And plus I wanted to make sure I could at least get the filters replaced before I went and spent another $300-400 on another pump. But I will probably get another pump filter for the plant so that I can filter out the water from there. And for that matter, I may just start putting the plants right directly into the fish tank. I don't know, we'll see. They started eating the roots, so that was a problem. But I have removed 2 5-gallon totes of water. So that's 10 gallons. So that's about a quarter of the water. It doesn't look too dirty in there. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and fill it back up with clean water and call it a day. It's already starting to get late. It's been a process. Got little Tim Jr. cleaning his hamster cage out right now. So, multitasking. Somebody got us a hamster. My sister got us a hamster for, or I don't know. He got a hamster from Santa, and so yeah. So it's basically one more thing to clean, but we are handling that. So I'll check back in with you guys next week, let you know how this is going. I'm gonna let this water sit, see if I can get it to clear up. So to fill the tank up, we're just gonna put this hose in here. I think my trick is I'm sliding this over a little bit. I had to move it out of the way so I could get the pump out, but plan is I'm sliding this over so that I can pinch the hose in between the two so that it will stay in the bucket. I don't want it to come out while I'm sucking water out. I don't want to sit here and hold it either. So, but anyway, yeah, so we just close the inlet and open up this valve here. And now this becomes the inlet, and so it's sucking in this clean water back into the fish tank. Now that all the water is sucked out of this tote, I still have that much water that needs to be filled back up. So I'm just going to shut this off here so we don't suck in any air into the line. And I am going to move this over here. Do the same thing like that, and then open this back up and finish sucking this water back in till we get it full. And now I'm just waiting. I've still got plenty of water in this tote. Almost worked out perfectly. Like I said, you do need quite a bit of reserve water here that's sitting there for a week, but now that that's completely full, don't want to overflow it. So we just quickly shut this off, and then we can open this back up and get the pump working again. So now it's taking in the water in the inlet and going through the filter and then going out the outlet back in there. So that's all done. The whole week cleaning plus the adding the new sponge filters is all done. Got to put the lids back on, set the light back up, get some more water ready for next week, and I am done for the day. I just have a garden hose hooked up to my sink, so I run it up the stairs so that I don't have to take the tank to the sink or anything. Just got a little adapter for my sink for this garden hose, and I'm just filling these up. And I will fill these up, let them sit for a week, and that way the chlorine isn't in the water because the fishies don't like the chlorine. And once those are all filled up, I got the lids and the light back on and everything, so that's all done. So I'll be just about done here. So these little charcoal filters, the thin ones, these are once a month. I replace these. The charcoal helps to purify the water, get it all nice and clean. But these big thick ones, these I don't replace once a month. Those are replaced once a year. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked at the instructions. It could be every 6 months. I don't really remember. I do have the instructions here on it, but you know, it's basically every year you want to replace the impeller, the seal ring. Oh, every 6 months you replace the mechanical foam, the biofoam, the Biomax. So yeah. All right, well, that's about that, and I appreciate you guys following along with me. I'm gonna save this dirty water just to see if at some point I can get it clear enough to maybe scoop off the top or something and put it back into the fish tank. I just hate wasting water, but we are saving the soil here. And on the growing the plants thing, we're going to take these outdoors pretty soon and test this outdoors, but this is all electricity free, so that's pretty cool. May even be fertilizer free for all I know. We're working on that. But please hit the subscribe button. I do want to try to monetize these because this stuff does get kind of expensive. But thanks again for joining me, and you guys have a great day.